Hey everybody, this is just a quick refresher on how to migrate a old masterclass or set up a brand new masterclass for the 2019-20 school year. To avoid a lot of the syncing problems that we had with gradebooks last year, if you follow this procedure, if you do use a masterclass, it'll help to avoid a lot of those issues. So again, the masterclass is valuable if you want to use Powerschool's learning pages or class pages to deploy content like videos and images, PDFs, and things like that to your students, especially if you teach multiple sections of the same course. It's also helpful if you want to assign digital assignments for students, like wikis or handing in electronic documents or doing online assessments with your students. So in that case, you would use class pages, and it would be beneficial to set up a masterclass. So this tutorial will look at how to migrate an old masterclass and also how to set up a new one. So your easiest and most efficient way to get into this project is to go to Quick Links, and then you can either click Learning Classes or My Portal. Let's go into Learning My Classes and start there. If you get prompted with any kind of sign-in, just go ahead and use your Google authorization sign-in to get into your class list. And then what I'm going to do is find one of my old master classes. So this is a 2008 digital literacy class that I used as the master class for last semester, and I'm going to save that into 2019. If you're starting fresh with a new master class, so if you're a new teacher and you want to start this for the first time, just go up here to this blue button that says New Class, and then once you have your class named, then you can follow along with linking up your rosters and sections the way that I'll define here. But I'm going to click Digital Literacy for 2018, and what it's going to do is show me my class pages from last year with all the content from last semester. It also has all of the sections from last semester that I had for this particular class. And what I want to do is just simply save this as a 2019 class, and that's going to remove the roster and information that I need, and then link that to the school year with the right academic background codes. So I'm going to go up here to the upper right hand corner to Manage Class, and I'm going to choose Save Class As. I'm going to click that, and here it's going to say, do you want to save it as a template? I'm going to save it as a new class. Then I'm going to save all of the page content. That'll save all of my videos and images and links and PDFs and things like that. Then down here, I'm going to remove all of the calendar events, announcements, gradebooks, attendance. I didn't have any discussions or polls or wikis or badges, but I may want to save my assessments if I've done any assessments in this class, which I have, or any assignments. It will save the assignment and assessment details, but you will need to reschedule them on 2019 dates. So I'm going to leave those two checked on, and then I'm going to click Next, and it's going to assume that the name is going to be something similar. So I'm going to save it as Semester 1, 2019. I'm just going to shorten that a little bit to just 19, Sem 1 19. Okay. And then if I scroll down a little bit, I will see that the year is already scheduled and populated for me as 2019, and that's correct, so I don't need to worry about anything else. I can just click Save. Now what you'll see in just a second is that page has been duplicated, and at the top it says the content is importing, so please wait while your content copies, and that'll take just a couple of minutes. But while we're waiting, we can go over and set up our sections within this master class. So we're going to do that over in Manage Class again, and then we're going to go to Edit Roster, and here's where we can create sections. So again, if you teach multiple sections of the same course, we can go here and import the students. Now I have a first and fifth period, so what I'm going to do is label or relabel section A as first period, and you can label these however you want, whatever you feel is most appropriate for you and your students to understand. And then I'm just going to click down section B, click Edit, highlight that, and I'm going to click fifth period, fifth per, and then I'm going to return to first period. I'm going to click Import Students. I'm going to change this to only my list of classes and 2019. That'll shorten the list dramatically. And then I'm going to pre-populate a search query with the word computer. So then what I'll see is my section number, section 7, period 1. That's how these naming conventions work. In parentheses is your section number, and in after the dash is your period number. So I'm going to select section 7, period 1, and I'm going to click import. Then it's important here to make sure that says link. So you're going to link to the roster. So if there are administrative roster changes, those will populate automatically. You do not need to manage your roster after this. Then you click continue. List the students that will be in that class, and I'm going to click import students. Takes just a second, and it will return you to the roster menu. And from that menu, then you can go back to manage sections, and you can select your other sections and repeat that process. So I'm going to go to import students once again, and only my classes, select 2019, and use the word computer as a search term. That's going to create a real short list. Then I go through and I'm going to find 5th period, click import, link to computer, and click continue. There's the guys for 5th period, click import, and then that list will be imported into the section. So again, if you have multiple sections of the same course, this is the best way to set this up, and then you can toggle between your 1st and 3rd or 1st and 5th period, or whatever your periods are. You can always go back and rename those sections later. You can also rename your overall masterclass name as you see fit. Then the last step here to make sure that your students can actually see that content is to go ahead and make that class active. I'm not going to do that right at this particular moment because I want to make sure that all the pages have imported correctly and only the pages they need for the first day are active. So to do that, I'm going to go through here and I'm going to unpublish any of the pages that they don't need for the first day. So I only want them to see what they need at any given time, so I'm going to turn these pages off so I make their list of available items very short, at least for my class. That's a good way to think of Powerschool, as well as to give your students only what they need to know when they need to know it, maybe a little bit in advance, just so they don't get overwhelmed by the amount of content presented to them in Powerschool. So I'm going to take just one more second here to unpublish the last page that they need. So what they will see on their end is only the pages that are orange here on this little radio beacon. So they will see the start page and they'll see their first project page available and ready for them next week. Okay, so if you want to toggle between sections, that menu is up here, but otherwise all of the content you see in just a couple of minutes from that old masterclass is now added to a new masterclass, and this is ready. The only thing also to consider is in this example, I did copy over assignments, and so the assignment names, descriptions, rubrics, any attached files also came over. And all I will need to do to redeploy these for this particular semester is to click on assignment and click edit and update the due date. So this is from last semester. So all I would need to do is click on the date, schedule it for later in this week, and then save that. If I wanted to be added to the gradebook, I would also do that here, and then you're good to go. Okay? But other than that, it should be pretty straightforward to set up a new masterclass, then add sections and roster your students, or take an old masterclass and bring it forward with that save as. Remember, go to manage class and then save class as, and that will copy it from the old Powerschool Unified Classroom setup into the new 2019-20 setup. Okay, hopefully that will allow you to avoid a lot of grade syncing issues with learning pages, content, and your PS gradebook. As always, if you have questions, please reach out and let me know. Thanks. Have a great year.